Hello all. We'll stay in the shade. Alright, this is important because it blew me away when I found out about it just the other day. I still can't believe when I look at it. Kangaroo meat industry. What? The US and other countries are getting real fond of kangaroo meat. Where is all this kangaroo meat coming from? You won't believe it. Australia wants to change its environment over to a sheep and cattle environment. They want to slaughter all of the wildlife that's out there because it interferes with their plans. So the slaughter has begun. Most of the meat and skins are coming to the US. I looked it up here in San Francisco. Yeah, there's kangaroo meat on restaurant menus, especially in Chinatown. Talking about which, China is getting really used to kangaroo meat. It's a huge, huge group of people eating kangaroo. By the way, this is the largest slaughter of mammals on the earth since the buffalo slaughters. In the 1800s and 1700s in the US. Unbelievable. And does anybody seem to care that we're going to slaughter all the kangaroos so that we can eat our meat? The only thing we can do about this is stay away from the restaurants that are serving this, if you can. And definitely don't order it. You're taking part in a gigantic land mammal slaughter. One of the largest that humans have ever done. Sad. Since I've been covering quite a bit of environment, I think I'll go over to politics. So if you can't stand politics, you know where. I'll see you guys next time. I understand. Politics really wrenches the stomach, especially this kind. The US has now detained 1,800 undocumented immigrants coming into the US. And separated their children from them. There are so many children being separated, there isn't any place to put them. So the Orange Man has come up with an idea. Since we're going to imprison every human that comes across the border without papers for who knows how long, we need supermax prisons all over the US. What a moneymaker. The biggest one ever built will happen in Cuba at, yes, Guantanamo. Supermax prison, and I'm sure it will come fully equipped with torture equipment. Nobody will ever find out in a supermax prison. So what is the US turning into? We just snubbed the G8. That's the allies of the US, and we seem to be cuddling up to the Saudis, Saudi Arabia, Israel, China, Russia. Are those going to be our new allies and we'll fight Europe? I just can't imagine what all those dead soldiers sitting in all those graveyards are thinking right now is happening to the US. Every day it gets worse and worse here in the US. If it gets worse here, you know it's getting worse where you are. So what we're looking at here is more and more jobs being created under the Orange Man of Incarceration Incorporated. We're going to make lots of money, lots of places, jailing people for whatever reason. And he will tote how good our economy is. Yet the real economy is mostly based on actually using up our planet to make money for ourselves. When are we going to come up with something different? You know, you could nationalize the banks. Instead of giving the new money to the banks, we just give it a portion of it to the citizens of the world, and they distribute the money. That will take away the problem of job dwindlation. Job dwindlation? Is there such a thing? because of automation and AI. These two things alone are going to change the way the world is. That's going to change year by year. You will see it if you haven't already. We're blaming each other because of this. It's the immigrants' fault. It's not the immigrants' fault. It's our own fault, our own doing. One more thing I wanted to talk about, and that is quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics has always been one of my favorite subjects, just because of the unusualness of it. But quantum mechanics has been around a long time. There's a lot of things that just aren't making sense, is there? So, quantum mechanics scientists around the world are going to try an experiment. And the experiment should absolutely fascinate you, because they're wondering the reason nothing is making sense in quantum mechanics is because none of this really exists. And they're trying to prove that everything you see, touch, smell, and hear, including the universe, is just a simulation? Wow. Wow. Could you imagine if it's proven that we're just a simulation and not real? Wow. So I definitely appreciate all the comments on the last videos. And the last video, even though it just went up. I've got to get these videos out as fast as I can. That busyness time keeps interfering. But there's a little bit of time now, so I'm spending it with you. I'd appreciate all your ups and your downs and your new subscribers. And please stop eating kangaroo if you're doing it. Don't take part in one of the world's biggest slaughters. That's very interesting, because if the orange man was put in here because of a simulation, that means it's deliberate, that the people who, or the thing, or the intelligence that's in control of this wanted a wrench thrown in. And you know, that's interesting. If you look at world history, we see that there are upheavals every now and then. Simulation? Wow.